The stars burned quietly above the dark side of Mars, their light scattered by the artificial shields that hung in orbit. Humanity had changed. The old blue planet, Earth, was no longer their only home. They had spread across the system, colonies on Mars, mining stations on Europa, and great shipyards floating above Saturn. For the first time in history, humans were united under one banner, the Terran Alliance. But peace never lasted long in the universe. It started as a whisper across the deep space relays, unknown ships appearing beyond Pluto, silent and fast. They didn't answer any hails. They didn't send a message. They simply waited. When the first Terran patrol ship approached, it vanished without a trace. At first, humanity thought it was pirates. Then came the broadcast. A strange voice filled every communication channel in the solar system. Cold, emotionless, and ancient. To the species known as humanity. This is the Galactic Council. Your expansion violates the boundaries of protected space. You are hereby ordered to withdraw from all off-world colonies and return to your origin world. Failure to comply will result in extermination. No one believed it at first. Many laughed at the message, calling it a prank or a political trick. But then, the sky above Mars burned. 3 alien dreadnoughts appeared out of nowhere, their hulls glowing like molten metal. In a single blast, they vaporized Mars's orbital defense station, 3,000 people gone in a second. Humanity had no choice but to believe. Commander Elena Voss watched the destruction from her flagship Resolute. The light from the explosion painted her face in red. Around her, the bridge crew sat frozen, eyes wide with disbelief. "They didn't even send a warning," whispered Lieutenant Carter. "They already did," Voss said softly. "We just didn't take it seriously." The Galactic Council had declared war on humanity. But they made a mistake. They thought humans would kneel. In the first week, chaos spread across the solar system. Panic, fear, and anger flooded every colony. The Council ships were massive, faster, and older than anything humans had ever seen. Their weapons cut through Terran shields like paper. Entire fleets were wiped out in hours. Yet even in defeat, humans didn't stop fighting. Voss stood before her crew, voice steady but burning with fire. "They think they can erase us. They think we'll surrender. But they don't understand what we are. We are not born to bow. We build, we adapt, we survive." The bridge came alive again. Orders were shouted, engines roared to life, and the Resolute turned toward the enemy fleet. Across the colonies, the same fire spread. Miners on Europa turned their drills into railguns. Engineers on Luna began constructing warships faster than ever before. Hackers, scientists and soldiers, all united for one cause, survival. The Galactic Council didn't understand humanity's madness. To them, war was something clean, ships exchanging fire in open space. To humans, war was survival in its purest form. Dirty, desperate, unpredictable. By the second month, the Council's fleets had reached Earth's orbit. The skies were filled with fire and debris. Entire cities lost communication. But even then, humanity refused to fall. In a hidden underground facility beneath the Andes Mountains, a secret project was being completed. Project Nemesis. The Terran scientists called it humanity's final weapon, a ship designed for one purpose, to bring annihilation to those who sought to destroy them. The Nemesis wasn't large, but it carried something the Council had never seen before, an adaptive AI, one that could learn from every battle, every loss, every death. It didn't just fight, it evolved. Commander Voss was chosen to lead it. When she first saw the ship, it didn't look like much. Black metal, smooth and silent, with no visible weapons. But the AI inside, named Echo, spoke to her the moment she stepped aboard. "Commander Voss, I am ready to learn." From that moment, everything changed. The Council continued their attacks, confident in their victory. But slowly, their ships began to fall. One by one, their massive cruisers were destroyed by small, fast Terran vessels. The Nemesis moved like a ghost through the stars, striking from shadows, vanishing before anyone could track it. Within weeks, humanity had turned from prey to predator. In the Galactic Council's high chamber, distant from any human system, the alien leaders argued. They could not understand how a primitive species had destroyed 9 fleets. They sent spies, probes, anything to understand the Terrans, but every attempt ended the same way. Silence. And then, one day, a new message appeared across the Council's channels. It wasn't from them. "This is Commander Elena Voss of the Terran Alliance. You declared war on humanity. You expected surrender. You will find only extinction." The message spread across the stars, cold and sharp like a blade. The Council had started the war. But humanity was about to finish it. And somewhere deep in space, Echo's voice echoed softly through the Nemesis's dark corridors. "Commander, I have calculated our next target. Shall we show them what humans do when they are cornered?" Voss smiled. "Let's remind them who we are." The Nemesis vanished into hyperspace, silent, deadly, unstoppable. And for the first time in millennia, the Galactic Council felt something they hadn't known in ages. Fear. The stars shimmered like cold diamonds as the Nemesis drifted silently through the void. The ship's dark hull absorbed all light, making it nearly invisible against the black ocean of space. Inside, the only sound was the steady hum of power cores and the quiet breathing of the crew. Commander Elena Voss stood on the bridge, staring at the holographic map before her. Red marks filled the screen: enemy fleets, Council patrols, occupied colonies. Humanity's territory was shrinking fast. The Terran Alliance was fighting on every front, and the Council's forces were endless. But Voss wasn't afraid. She had something they didn't: Echo. The AI's calm voice filled the bridge. "Commander, enemy fleet detected at coordinates Delta 79. 2 cruisers, 1 carrier, and 6 escorts." Voss didn't blink. "Distance: 14 minutes to engagement range." "Perfect," she said. "They're in our trap." For the past 3 weeks, Nemesis had been striking deep behind enemy lines, destroying fuel depots, jamming communications, vanishing before retaliation. Each attack left the Council more confused and more desperate. They had no idea how humans could move through their systems undetected. The secret was Echo. The AI didn't just control weapons, it controlled the ship itself, calculating millions of paths through space in seconds, bending light, and using gravitational shadows to disappear from sensors. The Council's old technology couldn't keep up. Lieutenant Carter, now promoted and serving as Voss's second-in-command, leaned over the console. "They'll be in range soon, Commander." "Orders. Bring weapons online," Voss said. "No warning shots." The crew moved fast. Every hand knew what to do. Every breath was controlled. They had all lost someone: friends, families, homes. There was no hesitation now. "Target locked," Echo said. "Ready to engage." Voss raised her hand. "Fire." In the silent dark, the Nemesis came alive. Blue light burst from its cannons, slicing through the void like lightning. The first alien cruiser exploded instantly, no time to react, no chance to fight back. The carrier tried to deploy fighters, but Echo hacked its systems mid-launch. The hangar doors sealed shut. Seconds later, the carrier detonated, scattering debris into the endless dark. Only one Council ship managed to escape, its engines burning hard as it fled toward hyperspace. "Let it go," Voss said. "We want them to run. We want them to be afraid." Carter frowned. "You think they'll send more after us?" Voss smiled coldly. "They always do." In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, the air was thick with anger and fear. The towering alien figures argued among themselves, their voices echoing through the golden halls. "This is unacceptable. 9 fleets gone to primitives. They have developed forbidden AI technology. It must be destroyed. Their weapon, it learns. It evolves." At the center of the room stood High Chancellor Varen, her silver skin glowing under the council lights. She was ancient, older than Earth's oldest empires. And for the first time, her composure cracked. They were supposed to fall in days, she hissed. Not rise as predators. A younger alien approached her, holding a glowing tablet. Reports indicate a single human vessel responsible for most of the damage. A ship called Nemesis. Varen narrowed her eyes. Then destroy it. Bring me its commander alive. Back aboard the Nemesis, Echo's voice interrupted the silence. Commander, new transmission detected. It's coming from the outer colonies. Play it, Voss ordered. The voice that filled the room was weak, filled with static and fear. This is Outpost Vega. We're under attack. Council fleet approaching from the transmission cut off. Voss clenched her jaw. Set course for Vega. Commander, Carter said carefully. It could be a trap. It doesn't matter, she replied. They're our people. We move now. Echo spoke again. I have calculated 6 possible ambush scenarios. Probability of survival, 31%. Voss's eyes hardened. Then we make it 32. The Nemesis jumped into hyperspace. Outpost Vega was already burning when they arrived. Massive alien ships hovered above the colony, firing plasma blasts into the surface. Buildings turned to dust. Human ships, small, underarmed, desperate, fought back with everything they had. Echo, lock on the biggest one, Voss commanded. Confirmed. Targeting Dreadnought. The Nemesis dived straight into the battle. Enemy fighters swarmed around it like angry insects. Laser fire flashed in every direction. Echo moved faster than any human pilot could, spinning, weaving, dodging through explosions. Carter shouted, "Shields at 60%. Keep firing." Voss ordered. "Echo, give me everything." The Nemesis fired its main cannon, a blinding beam of energy that tore straight through the enemy dreadnought's core. The explosion was massive, lighting up the entire system. One by one, the smaller council ships began to retreat. The surviving humans on Vega watched in disbelief as the enemy fleet fled. The impossible had happened. Nemesis had turned the tide. When the dust settled, the colony sent a single message to all human forces across space. The Terran Alliance still stands. We are not defeated. That message spread like wildfire. Across a dozen worlds, broken human soldiers lifted their heads again. They began to fight harder, faster, stronger. And in the quiet dark of her command deck, Voss watched the stars and whispered, "Let them come. We're just getting started." Echo responded softly. "Commander, I detect new council activity. Massive fleet movements near Jupiter. Perhaps they believe they have us cornered." Voss smiled. "Then let's show them what happens when you corner humanity." The ship turned toward Jupiter, its engines glowing like a rising storm. Somewhere, deep in the alien capital, High Chancellor Varen stared at the latest reports in silence. Her claws trembled slightly as she read the name again. Nemesis. And for the first time in centuries, she whispered something she had never said before. "We may have awakened a monster." The Nemesis cut through space like a shadow, moving silently toward Jupiter. Commander Elena Voss stood on the bridge, watching the massive gas giant loom ahead. The Council had underestimated humanity, but now their full attention was turning toward her. Echo's calm voice broke the silence. "Commander, sensors indicate more than 100 Council ships in the Jovian system. Multiple capital ships. Estimated firepower exceeds the combined strength of all human fleets." Voss's eyes narrowed. "Good. The bigger they are, the harder they fall." Lieutenant Carter glanced at her. "Are you sure we're not walking into a trap?" Voss shook her head. "Carter, the Council doesn't think humans can fight. That's their first mistake. Their second is underestimating Nemesis." The ship's AI hummed softly. "Calculating optimal attack patterns. Probability of maximum damage, 87%. Probability of crew survival, 59%. Voss smiled. Echo, you're learning fast. Meanwhile, in the heart of the council, High Chancellor Varen paced. Her scales gleamed under the golden lights. They are bold, reckless, she muttered. One ship destroying fleet after fleet. How? A young strategist approached cautiously. High Chancellor, we may be underestimating their capacity for adaptation. Our probes cannot predict their movements. Their technology, it evolves. Varen's eyes narrowed. Then we adapt faster. She tapped her claw on the console. Send the war assembly. Every fleet in the quadrant. No mercy. If one ship can destroy fleets, we will crush the species that built it. Back in the Jovian system, the Nemesis emerged from the shadows. The Council's ships filled the space between the planet and its moons, massive war machines bristling with weapons. Humanity's eyes widened, but Voss remained calm. Echo, she said, show me their weak points. Analyzing hull structure, weapon frequency, shield cycles, optimized attack path ready. Probability of breaking their formation, 72%. Voss nodded. Do it. Engage. The Nemesis moved like lightning. It darted between enemy ships, using gravitational shadows to hide and appearing where the Council least expected. Its cannons unleashed beams of blue-white energy, striking at the joints between ships, tearing through shields and armor. The alien fleets roared with fury. They opened fire, massive plasma bolts and energy waves aimed at the human vessel. But Echo predicted every move, every trajectory, guiding Nemesis to dodge and counterattack with deadly precision. One Council cruiser tried to ram the ship, thinking speed would overcome intelligence. Nemesis spun and fired at the cruiser's core. A massive explosion lit up Jupiter's orbit, sending debris raining across the moons. As the battle raged, the smaller human ships joined. They had been inspired by the Nemesis, by Voss, and by the hope that humanity could survive. They attacked relentlessly, using hit-and-run tactics, exploiting every weakness Echo highlighted. Commander Voss watched from the bridge. Her crew was tense but focused. Sweat rolled down their faces, but none faltered. She could see the Council's formations breaking apart, confusion spreading among their ranks. Echo, she said, prepare for the final strike. Probability of total fleet destruction, 69%. Voss grinned. Perfect. The Nemesis accelerated, weaving through the battlefield like a phantom. It targeted the Council's flagship, a massive, spiked vessel that had led the fleet. The ship's weapons were unlike anything humans had seen, but Echo anticipated every move. A massive beam of energy struck the flagship's engines, disabling it instantly. Voss ordered the final attack. The Nemesis's main cannon powered up, glowing brighter than any star nearby. Ready when you are, Commander. Voss's eyes narrowed. Fire. The energy beam struck the flagship squarely. There was no hesitation. The ship imploded from within, ripping apart in a wave of fire and metal. The shockwaves scattered nearby cruisers like toys, and the remaining Council ships began to retreat, their confidence shattered. After the battle, Voss stood on the bridge, staring at the stars. Her hands were steady, her face calm. The Nemesis had won again, but the war was far from over. Carter approached. Commander, this is unprecedented. They've never faced humans like this. Not once in their history. Voss looked at him, eyes burning. They thought we'd be easy to crush. They thought one ship couldn't matter. But they were wrong. Humans fight because we must. We survive because we refuse to surrender. And the more they come at us, the stronger we become. Echo's voice was soft, almost thoughtful. Commander, the Council will adapt. We must be ready for their next move. Voss nodded. Let them come. Every attack they make will teach us something. Every loss will make us stronger. Humanity does not run. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity survives. Somewhere in the Council's capital, High Chancellor Varen stared at the battle reports. Her claws trembled slightly. She had underestimated humans, and now she realized her mistake. They are not like any species we have faced, she whispered. They are unstoppable. Across the galaxy, humans cheered. The Terran Alliance sent transmissions of hope and defiance to every colony. Humanity was not just surviving, they were winning. And the Nemesis drifted silently through space, a dark shadow with the power to change the fate of the galaxy. Commander Voss smiled. This is only the beginning. And somewhere deep inside the ship, Echo spoke almost like a whisper. Then let us remind them what it means to face humanity. The aftermath of the Jovian battle left the galaxy in shock. News of the Nemesis's victory spread like wildfire across human colonies. Terran outposts that had long been isolated now felt a spark of hope. Humanity was alive, and for the first time in centuries, they believed they could fight, not just survive. But the Galactic Council would not forget. In the heart of their capital, High Chancellor Varen slammed her clawed hand onto the console. Enough of half measures. They have humiliated us, destroyed our fleets, and inspired rebellion across the system. Prepare the Armada. Every ship, every weapon, every soldier. We strike back, and we will leave nothing behind. The Council summoned fleets from every quadrant under their control. Thousands of ships converged, forming a massive wall of metal and fire around the solar system. Entire planets watched in fear as the alien armada approached, their shadows stretching across moons and rings like an impossible storm. On the Nemesis, Commander Elena Voss studied the incoming fleet. The size of it was terrifying, larger than anything she had ever seen. Her crew was tense but determined. Echo, give me the analysis, she said, her voice calm but sharp. Commander, the Council's fleet exceeds all previous encounters by nearly 5 times. Conventional engagement will result in catastrophic losses. I recommend alternative strategies. Voss leaned forward. Define alternative strategies. Guerrilla tactics, asymmetric strikes, and targeted sabotage. Probability of survival and maximum damage, 68%. Carter frowned. So, we hit them where it hurts and hope for the best. Voss nodded. Exactly. Humanity never fights fair. We adapt. We survive. The first strike began near Saturn's rings. Small, fast Terran ships darted in and out of the alien fleet, using the moons and asteroids as cover. Explosions lit up the dark void as human fighters struck supply lines and shield generators. The Council was stunned. They had never faced a species that used unpredictability as a weapon. For every ship they destroyed, humans had 3 more waiting in the shadows. Commander, Carter shouted, we're being targeted by the flagship's energy cannons. They've realized our pattern. Voss's eyes narrowed. Good. Then we change the pattern. Echo, take us in close to Titan. Use the moon's atmosphere for cover. Acknowledged. Probability of success, 59%. The Nemesis dove into Titan's thick, orange clouds, disappearing from all sensors. The Council ships searched blindly, firing into the atmosphere with no effect. And then, without warning, the Nemesis struck. The flagship's engines overloaded. Its shields collapsed. In minutes, the Council's largest ship was reduced to debris. Across the colonies, the victory sent waves of hope. On Europa, miners and engineers converted old equipment into weapons. On Luna, students and scientists created traps and mines for invading fleets. Humanity was fighting on every front: small ships, hidden bases, and unconventional warfare. And everywhere, the message was clear: humans would not surrender. High Chancellor Varen watched the reports with growing fear. The humans were adapting faster than she anticipated. They are evolving, she said quietly. Every strike teaches them something new. Every defeat makes them stronger. One of her generals hissed. High Chancellor, perhaps we should negotiate. We could. Varen's eyes burned. Negotiate? Do you think they will ever bow? We declared war, not diplomacy. Humanity will not kneel. Then we must destroy them, completely, before they destroy us. Back on the Nemesis, Voss prepared for the next move. Echo, we need to anticipate the Council's counterattack. Where will they strike next? Analysis complete. High probability of assault near Mars and the asteroid belt. They aim to destroy resources and colonies before we can respond. Then we hit them first, Voss said, her voice steely. We can't just defend. We take the fight to them. Make them fear every system. The crew moved quickly, readying weapons and planning attacks. Engineers modified ships with experimental tech. Pilots memorized complex maneuvers, and every soldier trained for guerrilla combat in space. Humans survive by thinking differently, Voss said. And that's exactly what the Council doesn't understand. The first human strike on the Council's supply convoy was devastating. Ships vanished before being detected, supply lines were destroyed, and alien soldiers were caught in traps they didn't know existed. The Council fleets began to hesitate. Every engagement brought losses they could not comprehend. Voss watched the destruction with quiet satisfaction. This is just the beginning. They think they can crush us with numbers, but we have something they cannot match: adaptability, cunning, and the will to survive. Carter leaned closer. Commander, they're sending reinforcements from beyond the known sectors. Millions of soldiers, hundreds of ships. It's overwhelming. Voss smiled faintly. Then we make history. Humanity has never surrendered, and we will not start now. Ready the fleet. We're going to show them what it means to fight a human. Somewhere, deep in the Council's capital, Varen's eyes narrowed as she stared at the holographic map. They are learning too fast, she whispered. The species we called primitive may destroy us all. Across the galaxy, humans rallied behind the Nemesis. Hope burned in their hearts, courage in their eyes. The war was far from over, but for the first time, humanity was no longer hiding. They were hunting. And Commander Voss knew one truth above all: the Council would soon learn why humans were never meant to be underestimated. The galaxy trembled as the human forces pressed their advantage. After the devastating strikes near Saturn and the asteroid belt, the Council was on high alert. Entire fleets scrambled to defend supply lines and colonies. But humanity had learned to fight differently. Every attack, every battle, every loss had taught them how to survive against overwhelming odds. On the Nemesis, Commander Elena Voss studied the holographic maps of Council systems. Her face was calm, but her mind raced. Echo's soft hum filled the room. Commander, I have detected an anomaly in the Council's communications network. A hidden sector near the outer rim, heavily shielded, yet vulnerable to electromagnetic pulses. Probability of finding critical intelligence, 74%. Voss's eyes glimmered. Prepare a strike team. This may reveal their secrets, and their weakness. Meanwhile, High Chancellor Varen seethed in her golden chamber. Reports of human attacks flooded in, supply depots destroyed, fleets lost, colonies liberated. Her generals argued among themselves, desperate for solutions. High Chancellor, they are using asymmetric tactics. Small forces, hit-and-run strategies. Conventional engagement will fail. Varen's claws clenched. Then we escalate. If humans will not surrender, they will burn. Every world they hold will be a grave. Send the Dark Armada to the outer rim. Crush them before they reach our central systems. A young strategist whispered, High Chancellor, the humans are evolving faster than we can anticipate. Perhaps they are learning from every battle. Varen's eyes glinted with fury. Then we must learn faster. On the Nemesis, Voss prepared her strike team for the Outer Rim mission. She handpicked the best engineers, pilots and soldiers, those who had survived multiple encounters with the Council's fleet. Echo, brief the team. Target, Council Communications Hub, Outer Rim Sector Delta 9. Heavily shielded. Security, orbital defenses, automated drones, and AI-controlled weapons. Approach undetected, 37% probability. Alternative, direct assault, probability of survival, 12%. Voss smirked. We're not here to play safe. Prepare the direct assault. We adapt as we go. That's what humans do best. The crew moved into position. Ships darted through dark space, hiding behind asteroid fields and nebulae. The Council's defenses were formidable, but humans had something they could never anticipate: ingenuity and unpredictability. As they approached the hub, the Council's sensors detected them. Alarms blared across the station. Automated drones swarmed toward the Nemesis. Energy beams lit the darkness like lightning. Hold tight, Voss commanded. Echo, calculate evasive maneuvers. We move now. The ship twisted and turned through the storm of fire, slipping past drones and blasting orbital turrets. Every strike was precise. Every move calculated, yet unpredictable. Humans were not just surviving, they were hunting. Finally, the strike team landed on the hub. The corridors were empty, eerily silent. Echo guided them through the labyrinth of machinery, avoiding traps and surveillance. Commander, a central chamber detected. Unknown technology. Highly advanced. Likely core intelligence of this sector. Voss nodded. Let's see what secrets they hide. Inside the chamber, a glowing console pulsed with energy. Echo interfaced with it, sending waves of data to the Nemesis. Commander, this is astonishing. They have been hiding information about their fleet deployments, weapon prototypes, and experimental AI. Probability of using this intelligence to turn the war, 92%. Voss's eyes burned with excitement. Then we make history. Back in the Council's capital, Varen's fury boiled. Outer Rim Sector Delta 9. Compromised? Impossible. A general spoke cautiously. High Chancellor, the humans, Commander Voss, may have discovered something dangerous. Their attacks are no longer just guerrilla tactics. They are strategic, precise. They understand our operations better than we do. Varen's jaw tightened. Then we bring everything down on them. Leave no planet, no fleet, no ship untouched. Humanity will kneel. Or perish. The Nemesis left the hub, carrying intelligence that would shake the Council to its core. The strike team returned with minimal losses, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Voss stood on the bridge, staring at the data flowing across the screens. This changes everything, she said softly. The Council thought we were simple, reactive. They thought one ship couldn't matter. But now we know, we can fight smarter. We can strike harder. We can survive anything. Carter looked at her. Commander, this could end the war. Voss shook her head. No, Carter. It will not end. Not yet. It will escalate. The Council will come at us with everything they have. But that's exactly what we want. Every attack will teach us something. Every loss will make us stronger. Humanity is not meant to be defeated. Echo spoke quietly. Commander, I am prepared to analyze and execute all offensive operations. The Council will not anticipate our next move. Voss smiled. Then let's remind them, humans are never what they expect. The Nemesis moved silently into the darkness of space, carrying not just weapons, but knowledge, humanity's most dangerous and unpredictable weapon of all. And somewhere, High Chancellor Varen stared at the latest intelligence, her face pale beneath her golden scales. For the first time, she realized the terrifying truth. They are not just surviving, they are becoming unstoppable. The galaxy shuddered under the weight of impending war. Humanity, once thought weak and primitive, had become a nightmare the Galactic Council could not ignore. Information captured from Delta 9 had revealed not only fleet positions but also experimental weapon prototypes, terrifying devices the Council had never used in battle. Humanity now held a map of the enemy's future moves. On the Nemesis, Commander Elena Voss stood silently on the bridge, watching the stars streak past. The ship had been patched, upgraded, and rearmed. Every battle had taught the crew something new, and they had become faster, smarter, more lethal. Echo, status report, Voss said. Commander, the Council has mobilized the Dark Armada. They are deploying a combined force of 500 capital ships and over 10,000 fighter craft toward the inner colonies. Estimated time to engagement, 28 hours. Voss clenched her fists. Then we don't wait. Prepare the fleet. We strike first. Lieutenant Carter, standing nearby, swallowed hard. 500 ships, and 10,000 fighters. Commander, that's overwhelming. Even with Nemesis leading, we'll be outnumbered 100 to 1. Voss smiled faintly. That's the beauty of humans, Carter. We survive against impossible odds. And we adapt faster than they can imagine. Meanwhile, High Chancellor Varen seethed in her golden chamber. Every report from the Outer Rim chilled her more than she wanted to admit. The humans had not only survived every ambush, they had captured intelligence, liberated colonies, and now prepared to meet the Dark Armada head-on. They think they can outsmart us, Varen hissed. They will learn the truth. Humanity cannot survive the full wrath of the Galactic Council. Prepare the fleet. Spare nothing. Crush them completely. Make their species a warning across the stars. Her generals hesitated. High Chancellor, the humans are learning faster than we can predict. Our most advanced weapons may not succeed. Varen's eyes narrowed. Then we adapt. Every strike, every strategy, every fleet, they will die before they understand what hit them. Humanity will kneel, or burn. The first clash came near Jupiter, a chaotic dance of light and fire. Human ships, small and agile, struck the vanguard of the Dark Armada, targeting command ships and supply carriers. The Council's massive weapons tore through the outer hulls of human vessels, but humans were unpredictable, dodging, weaving, and striking where least expected. The Nemesis led the assault, darting through the chaos, its main cannon firing with precision. Every shot brought destruction, every maneuver left the enemy scrambling. Commander, our losses are rising, Carter warned. Even with Nemesis, we can't hold them indefinitely. Voss's eyes burned with determination. Then we adapt. Echo, suggest alternate formations. Recommended formation, multi-vector strikes, feints, and decentralized attacks. Probability of maximum enemy disruption, 83%. Voss nodded. Do it. As human ships fanned out, the Council's forces faltered. Their largest battleships were destroyed, one after another, by tactics they had never anticipated. The Outer Rim intelligence gave humans the advantage. They knew fleet positions, shield weaknesses, and the timing of experimental weapon deployment. Every strike was surgical. Every move lethal. But then the Council revealed its trump card. A colossal ship appeared, far larger than any seen before. Its hull shimmered with dark energy, and strange weapons blinked along its surface. Echo's sensors struggled to analyze it. Commander, I cannot fully identify its capabilities. Unknown technology. High risk of catastrophic damage. Voss's jaw tightened. Then we make it our target. This ship falls, or we do. The Nemesis dove into the heart of the battle. The massive ship fired waves of energy that tore through the human formation, scattering smaller vessels like leaves in a storm. But Echo anticipated its every move, guiding the Nemesis with terrifying precision. Voss's crew worked tirelessly. Pilots dodged and counterattacked, engineers repaired systems mid-combat, and soldiers fired on boarding parties. Every second was life or death. Finally, the human fleet closed in. The Nemesis unleashed its full firepower, striking the colossal ship's weak points. Blue-white beams tore through armor plating and energy shields. Sparks and fire exploded across its hull. With a final earth-shattering detonation, the massive ship imploded, sending shockwaves through the Council fleet. The remaining vessels faltered, hesitation spreading like wildfire. Carter breathed heavily. We did it. Commander, they're retreating. Voss's eyes never left the battlefield. Not yet, Carter. They've been hurt, yes. But they will return, bigger and stronger. This is only a taste of what humanity can do. In the Council's capital, Varen glared at the holomap of the battlefield. Her clawed hand trembled slightly. The humans had destroyed their trump card, crippled their fleet, and survived with minimal losses. For the first time, she faced fear. They are unstoppable, she whispered. We have awakened something we cannot control. The Nemesis drifted silently in space, its hull scarred but intact. Humanity had won another battle, but the war was far from over. Commander Voss knew the Council would strike back harder, with weapons and strategies beyond comprehension. Echo, she said quietly, prepare the fleet for the next wave. We're going to make them regret ever declaring war on humanity. Understood, Commander, Echo replied. Calculating all possible outcomes. Probability of human survival remains high. Shall we continue? Voss smiled faintly. Always. Humanity doesn't stop. Humanity never surrenders. And somewhere across the galaxy, the Council began to realize that they were no longer the hunters, they were the prey. The galaxy held its breath. After months of relentless war, the Terran Alliance, led by Commander Elena Voss aboard the Nemesis, had turned the tide. The Council's fleets, once untouchable, were shattered, and their colonies vulnerable. But High Chancellor Varen was not finished. She had one last plan, an overwhelming strike meant to crush humanity forever. Gather every available fleet, Varen commanded. Every system under our control. This war ends with their annihilation. The Council's warships began to converge on the inner solar system. Millions of soldiers, thousands of capital ships, and experimental weapons, unlike anything humanity had faced before, were now heading toward Earth. This was the final battle. The fate of the human species, and perhaps the galaxy, hung in the balance. On the Nemesis, Voss studied the incoming fleet. She knew the numbers were staggering, but fear had no place here. Every battle had taught her crew something new. Every loss had forged them stronger. Echo, she said, voice calm, analyze the Council's fleet. Give me every weakness, every opening. Commander, analysis complete. We have identified a primary vulnerability in their command network. Destroying it will cripple coordination across their entire armada. Probability of success, 48%. Voss smiled faintly. Then that's our target. Prepare the fleet for a synchronized strike. Humanity doesn't just fight, we strike where it hurts most. The Terran ships moved like shadows through the void, small and fast, hiding among asteroids, moons, and nebulae. When the Council scouts tried to detect them, the humans had already vanished. The element of surprise had always been humanity's greatest weapon. Carter approached Voss, concern written across his face. Commander, even with this plan, the odds are astronomical. They outnumber us by tens of thousands. Voss's eyes burned with determination. Carter, the Council underestimates one thing: humans are not predictable. We do not follow rules. We survive against impossible odds. And tonight, we will show them what that means. The first strike began near the asteroid belt. Small Terran ships attacked supply lines, energy depots, and communication hubs. Explosions lit the void like fireflies. The Council's forces, massive and rigid, struggled to adapt. Every human move was calculated but seemingly chaotic, impossible to predict. Then came the signal. Echo coordinated the fleet with precision. All units, converge on designated coordinates. Prepare simultaneous orbital insertion. Target, Council Command Nexus above Jupiter. The human fleet moved like one organism. Ships of every size, from fighters to frigates, attacked in perfect synchrony. For every Council attack, humanity had a counter. For every fleet, a trap. Voss's eyes never left the screens. The Nemesis moved to the heart of the enemy armada, weaving between colossal warships, dodging energy beams, and striking where it mattered most. Blue-white cannons fired relentlessly, tearing through armor and shields. Suddenly, the Council's experimental weapon activated, a massive gravity disruptor that began pulling human ships into a swirling vortex. The fleet faltered. "Commander, we are caught in the gravity field," Carter shouted. Voss gritted her teeth. "Echo, calculate a countermeasure. Deploying phased energy pulses and vector displacement. Probability of escape, 67%. The Nemesis unleashed a pulse of pure energy, shattering the vortex. Ships broke free, spiraling into coordinated attack positions. The humans pressed forward, relentless. At the heart of the Council fleet, the Command Nexus, a massive fortress ship, pulsating with dark energy, loomed. Voss's eyes narrowed. "This is it. The head of the serpent. Echo, engage maximum power. Probability of complete Nexus destruction, 45%. Voss nodded. "Do it." The Nemesis fired its main cannon, a beam of light that tore through the void. Smaller ships followed, striking weak points identified by Echo. Shields collapsed, engines failed, and the Command Nexus erupted in a cataclysmic explosion that sent shockwaves across the Council's fleet. Chaos erupted. Without central command, their ships turned on each other. Terran pilots exploited the confusion, striking every vulnerable point. Within hours, what had been the greatest armada in the galaxy was in ruins. High Chancellor Varen stared at the destruction in disbelief. "Impossible," she whispered. Her fleet was annihilated, her weapon destroyed, her armies scattered. The humans had done the impossible. They should be gone," she muttered. "And yet they remain, undefeated." The Council was broken. Humanity had survived, adapted, and risen stronger than anyone could imagine. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Voss looked at the stars, the wreckage of the Council fleet spread across Jupiter's orbit. She turned to her crew, exhausted but victorious. "Today," she said quietly, "we proved what humanity has always known: we do not bow. We do not surrender. We survive. And when we are threatened, we fight, and we win." Carter smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. "Commander, we did the impossible." Voss shook her head, looking toward the horizon of space. "No. This is just the beginning. Humanity will always rise. The galaxy will remember who we are." Echo's voice, calm and almost reverent, filled the bridge. "Commander, the threat has been neutralized. Humanity stands victorious. But the universe is vast and unknown." Voss smiled faintly. "Then let's make sure they never forget our name." As the Nemesis disappeared into the dark reaches of space, the human colonies celebrated. Across worlds, transmissions of hope, defiance, and triumph echoed. Humanity had faced annihilation, and instead of dying, they had risen. Somewhere, deep in the remnants of the Council, High Chancellor Varen whispered to herself, her golden eyes dim with fear and awe. "We underestimated them. And we will never recover." The war was over. Humanity had not just survived, they had conquered the impossible. And in the endless expanse of space, one truth echoed louder than any cannon. Humans were unstoppable.